Tomorrow is going to be your first time coming to my parents' house. So are you worried? I have to work in the morning, so I won't be able to come along with you on that flight. But I'll be over later, so just hang out with my parents while you guys wait for me. I think they'll all have things for you to do there, and it'll be a good chance for you guys to talk about me behind my back.
Of course I'm a bit nervous. This will be my first time meeting your mom, as well as going to your parents' house in general. I really wish you were able to come with me on the flight over, though. I'll probably be sweating the whole flight just thinking about how things will go and if they'll be happy with me or not.
Well, even if I could come with, my mom told me that she wants to talk with you one-on-one for a bit. So I'm sorry, but she's going to get what she wants this time.
That right there makes me really nervous to see her. But I get it. This will be her first time seeing me as well. And since I have the day off work, there's no reason I can't go early and see her. But man, am I sweating over this.
You'll only be there for a few hours by yourself, so don't worry too much. And later in the day, your parents will be coming over, right? They'll have all of that business talk with my dad, so I'm sure that my mom knows not to get too out of control with you.
Yeah, that's the plan anyway. But it would be a whole lot better if they came over at the same time as me. At least then they could get all that business talk over with before you come, and then I won't have to feel as worried about what kind of interrogation they give me today.
Well, my dad's really looking forward to seeing you, Rose. He told me that he wants to show you around my hometown a little as well, before your parents come. And that he'd probably do that with you after picking you up from the airport, and before you all go back to the house. I think that'll help you relax a bit, and they're close to the beach, so you can probably go out and dip your feet in for a bit. And also, if you can't become close with my mom, that would be wonderful. She is a bit rough on people at first, so I'm a little concerned about that. But if you do get to be really close, then I will never have to think about you both getting into fights, like mother-in-laws always get into on those TV dramas.
Telling me that now is only going to get my heart racing even faster. Now I feel even more like she'll find problems with me when I speak to her. Ugh. I should call them when I get to the airport, right? Then they'll come and pick me up from there, right?
They told me that they'd be waiting there before you even arrive, so you shouldn't have to wait for them to come get you. My mom and dad are really looking forward to seeing you. I'm sure when you get there, they'll have a sign with your name on it for you and everything.
Well, I hope that's true, and tell them thank you for waiting on me. But there's always the chance that the plane will be late, so maybe it's best they wait a little bit before coming.
Well, you could tell my parents that before you go then. They said they'll be tracking your flight, so they'll know the time it comes into the airport, even if there's a delay or anything like that. But if it'll relax you a little bit, you could tell them what to do. Anyway, have a safe flight tomorrow, okay?
Thank you, Nathan. And you too. As for the time you'll be arriving at the airport, that should be around 11 a.m., right? Good afternoon, Mom. Yes, that should be the right time. Could you please not call me Mom yet? I am not your mom or anything like that to you. Huh? Oh, right. I'm so sorry. Tomorrow is looking to be a very hot day here, and it's the 4th of July, a day in which families should be together, yet we have to come and get you. That'll take a lot of time and be a pain in the butt for me. What? Is that right? I'm really sorry about that. If you'd like, I can find a way to make it to your guys' house by myself. That might be the right move, Rose. Well, we'll see about that tomorrow. Understood. I'm sorry if me coming out tomorrow causes any troubles for you, but I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Rose, do you really think you can be married to my son? What? I'm sorry, but what do you mean by that? I assumed that since my son chose you, you'd be a very outstanding person. But you don't work for any major company, nor do you even have a proper job of your own. If anything, you're going to give up whatever income you have and become a housewife leeching off my son, right? Do you think I'll allow you to use my son and become a part of my family that way? I'm sure you have your eyes set on us because my husband runs his own company, am I right? Hold on for one moment. What are you talking about right now? I think you have some kind of misunderstanding because that's not at all what I planned for. So you're telling me you never knew that my husband has his own company? I know about that, but there we go then. My son never listened to me about people like you being in this world, and that's because you already have a hold on him. What do you mean that there are people like me in this world? The trash that only looks to marry for others' money. You think I'm after your guys' money? I've been dating your son now for 3 years. I can understand you thinking something like that could be possible, but I am not that kind of person, Kelly. Who knows? But be aware that I have no plans of becoming family to you. However, if you say anything about this to my son, I'll make sure there's hell to pay. Don't you ever do anything to make my family upset, okay? I don't plan to say anything to upset your family, but for the time being, I look forward to seeing both you and your husband tomorrow. We haven't had the chance to meet one another yet, so it's great to see that we'll finally all be able to get to know each other. And since it appears there are a few misunderstandings, I'll try my best to clear everything up between us. I had planned to give you a call to let you know that I'm here. Where are you guys right now? I did come a bit early, so if you're not here just yet, don't worry. I'll be waiting a little bit for my bag to come out. We are not going to get you. What? I do not accept you as my family, and I will not let you be my son's wife. Are you really saying that you're not going to pick me up from the airport then? Also, you are aware that Nathan and I have already legally married one another and have our certificate, right? We had planned to come out to your guys' house for the 4th and we could celebrate as a family there. That doesn't mean a thing. I do not want you to be a part of this family. And that also means I don't approve of you being my son's wife. So, since you're just a stranger to me, you will not be getting any car ride back to my house. Why would anyone take a stranger back to their house anyway? If you really want to be here with us, show me your determination and walk all the way to our house under the blistering sun. Hold on for a second. You want me to walk to your house when it's this hot out? I understand now that you don't want to come here to get me, but I can still get a taxi to take me there, right? Nope. What? If you do something like that, then you're definitely never going to get my approval to marry my son. Come here with your own strength and show me how much you want to be in this family. Are you seriously saying all that right now? That's quite a long distance to your house from here. Should only take you an hour and a half to get here if you hustle, right? Do you not want my approval, Rose? Even if you say you're my son's wife, to me you're just a complete stranger, and my husband and I don't give rides to complete strangers. You are going to walk under the scorching sun from the airport, or else you'll lose any chance of becoming part of the family. All right. Then I'll be waiting for you. I understand that you won't accept me any other way, so I'll start walking, but is this really what you want from me? Just hurry up and start walking. If you can't make it in time for lunch, you'll have to wait until dinner to eat. Okay then, I'll be on my way over right now. I'm walking right now. What do you want? You have called me almost 200 times now, and my voicemail is full. Rose, where are you right now? I told you that I'm walking and still a ways away from your house. I'm going to come to you as soon as I can, so please tell me what street you're on. Why are you saying that now? Could this be because you heard about how I've been supporting your husband's company financially with over $300,000 now? What $300,000? What are you talking about? So you haven't heard about that from your husband yet then, huh? Then why are you trying to get a hold of me so frantically? My husband has started to worry about why you're not at our house yet, so I'm worked up now. I told him that when I went to go and get you without him, I wasn't able to find you and came back home. And he became frustrated with me because he expected that I look for you if you weren't there waiting for me. Well, he is right to be frustrated by that. Normally, you'd never just get up and go home without the person you came out to get, right? But really, you didn't even come to the airport to get me in the first place. And what's this about you financing my husband's company? I haven't heard anything about that from him yet. Well, my family's company has been working to help finance your husband's company for a bit now. And my parents were actually planning to come out here later today on a separate flight to see you both. Wait, does that all have to do with why my husband told me he needed to run into his office and gather a lot of paperwork today? I'm sure that was all to prepare for seeing my parents in person this time. They've already decided on helping your husband's company out, but there are still talks about how much we'll give. And today was supposed to be the day that something like that was decided on. That's probably why your husband had to run to his office and prepare the documents needed for said meeting, right? While your husband has been busy with all of that, I was planning on having you get me from the airport, but you never came. I'm sure he's worried now about how things will play out with my parents now. Well, I never knew anything about that. Since when did you all start talking about helping him with his company? Whether you knew about it before this or not, things wouldn't have changed. What you've done to me today has really shaped the future between us and opened my eyes to the true you. Anyway, I'm going to take my time walking over. It's super hot out and I'm getting tired, but... He's still asking me why you haven't arrived yet, and it's a problem for me now. A problem for you. This is what you wanted to happen, right? It was, but I didn't actually consider something like that happening. Maybe you should just tell your husband the truth then? Tell him that you told me you'd come and get me, but when I arrived at the airport, you took back your word and said that I needed to walk to your house. I never meant it as a bad thing towards you or anything. Well, if this wasn't done out of hate towards me, then why did you do it? I think it's best you tell your husband that you demanded that I walk to your house all the way from the airport. I'm sorry, but I don't believe there's anyone that would ask that from someone with any reasoning besides bullying the person they've asked. Are you trying to mess with me right now? There's no way I could say something like that to him. If I were to, what would he end up saying back to me? I believe that it's you that's been messing with me, Kelly. Huh? Are you still not aware that everything you've been saying today has been you trying to make me suffer? Well, it doesn't matter what your real intentions were for this because everyone will soon find out what you did to me. What are you talking about, Rose? I'm saying that if I'm asked about what happened to me today, I'm telling them the truth. Who will you tell that to? Well, to your husband and Nathan. If they ask why I was so late in arriving at your house, I'll tell them the truth. And I'll show them all the texts you sent me. What? You plan to say such needless things to them? These are very important things that I'll be telling them since they're all the truth. I'm not doing any of this to spite you. Rather, I'm just giving them the true answer. Please, don't say a thing about this. If either of those two find out, I'll be in huge trouble. Well, if this were going to get you into huge trouble, then you never should have done it in the first place. But you've already gone through with it, so it's over for you. But I'm telling you that I'll come and get you now. All you have to do is tell me where you're at and everything will be fine, right? Even if you do plan to come get me, it's far too late. I've already walked this far because of you, so your intentions are well known. I'm going to continue walking all the way there just so I can savor the hate I have for you. I'm telling you that you don't need to walk anymore. I'll come out and get you. You told me to walk an hour and a half through this horrible summer heat, and now you want to stop me halfway and come get me? It's too late for you, Kelly. You've said more than enough now. I never knew anything about you and your family, though, so I didn't think you could do anything to me. Please allow me to come and get you. And then you won't have to tell my husband and son anything unnecessary. I get that you're in a panic and want to come get me, but you demanded that I do this, so I'll go until the end. Even if that leads to your husband and Nathan learning the truth and getting pissed at you, that'll have nothing to do with me. Please don't say things like that. I'll be in huge trouble if they find out. Well, you asked for it. And now you've gotten what you wished for, and you have to be there to bear responsibility for it. Rose, I'm so sorry. I apologize for being such a jerk to you today. Can you please agree to keep this one event a secret between us? No thanks. Why not? I'm not even asking much from you right now. Do you really think you can say no to that? I do, actually. I have a right to say no to you now. What you've done today has shown me your true character, and so I can do whatever I want with that knowledge now. And along with that, I don't have to care about what you think about my actions because you never bothered to hide your true self from me. I really did want to become close to you and all, but I can see that that's not what you wanted. That's not true. I do want to become close to you, Rose. It's not too late for the both of us to become really good in-laws. It is too late. You made yourself believe that I was only in this for your guys' money. But if you heard about how my family is going to support your husband's company, you would have never thought to say that, right? Well, it's too late now. So now do your best and tell all of this to your husband and son for me. And if you won't, I promise I'll hold no truth back from them. In the end, Kelly's husband and son ended up learning the truth about what happened with Rose, and they proceeded to tear her a new one before getting into the car and heading on the road to go find Rose. They both called Rose a couple of times before she finally answered them. But by that point, she was already very close to the house, and so she had already been on the move for over an hour in the super hot heat. When they did get to her, she was covered in sweat and would later up having some horrible sunburns because she didn't even have any sunscreen on her at the time. After getting back to the house, everyone began to ask Kelly why she did this to Rose. But after she kept beating around the bush about it, the rest of the family banned her from joining them for dinner. They then left the house without Kelly and watched fireworks for the rest of the evening while helping rub some much-needed aloe all over Rose so the burns didn't bother her as much. Following the dinner and fireworks, though, everyone came back to the house where Kelly finally did tell everyone her reason for doing this to Rose, and that led to Nathan telling his mom he was cutting ties to her. He said that he could never have someone as his mother who would go to such lengths over such a pathetic excuse, and would make sure that she'd never have the chance to talk to Rose again. And as for her husband, he was appalled by her reasoning and told her that he'd be moving to a new house and away from her. Just as his son had said, he didn't want to give her the chance of coming around the family again, but also wanted to make sure that she didn't get in the way of the business he'd worked so hard for. Kelly then panicked and tried to apologize to everyone for what she'd done, but by that point, everyone only ignored her pleas for forgiveness and gave her the coldest shoulder. By that night, everyone had left the house and left Kelly there to go stay at a hotel near the airport, where her husband and Rose's parents could continue to talk about the financing in peace. Luckily for everyone, my parents did end up going through with the plans that had been made for helping finance the business and keeping it going, so there were no more worries there. Kelly really did take things too far this time, and now she's having to pay for it by not only losing her own family, but also losing any income into her life. As for what'll happen next to her, there's only anxiety surrounding it, I'm sure. But if I were her, I'd at least start by finding a job soon, or else those missed payments on the bills to that house will have her seeing a new world without a roof over her head.
I heard you've become a paraplegic now. That sucks. Do your best from now on with rehab and things like that.
Hold on a second. Why are you acting so distant from me now, Tyler? It was your fault in the first place for the accident that's left me this way. You understand that, don't you?
I understand that, but I don't care either way.
You don't care about what you did to me? Huh? You were driving drunk and ended up putting me in this terrible situation, and you're going to say things like that about it? What you've done is not something I'm going to let go of. You should at least be at the hospital with me right now. Can you tell me why you're not at my side? Where even are you right now?
I've left the house already. I'll let you have that crappy house. Ain't that great?
What do you mean you've left our house? And you're giving it to me? That house has belonged to my family for generations, so you're not giving me crap.
Is that so? Well, it doesn't matter because I'm out of there already. I left you the divorce paper there to work on when you get out. Make sure to have it handed in as soon as possible.
Huh?
But make sure not to say anything about me driving drunk, okay? You allowed me to drive the car drunk, so we'd both be in hot water at that point.
I tried to stop you, but you never listened to me and kept saying that everything would be okay. Now, what is all of this about you leaving the house and wanting a divorce from me?
I'm getting a divorce from you, Vicky. Should have known that the moment you found out you couldn't move your legs.
Huh? You're serious about that? There's no way you'd actually want to leave me, right? You think you're going to just leave me now that I can't walk by getting a divorce?
That's exactly it. I'm not gonna stay with someone who can't move around anymore.
Isn't that kind of screwed up though? Especially when this happened to me because of you.
And so what? You and I are still young, right? And I'm not going to throw away the rest of my life having to take care of a paraplegic.
I never said you had to take care of me forever though.
But I'll have to, right? You can't even stand up anymore, let alone get anywhere without someone helping you. I want to be married to a normal person, okay? I can't even begin to think of what life I'd have to be pushing your wheelchair around forever. Even having to be married to a cripple is impossible. So we're getting a divorce, please. That's fine, right?
I'm without words because of what I've heard come out of your mouth. After causing me to become paralyzed from the waist down due to your own negligence, you're going to ask me to get a divorce now? And your reason for that is because I can't walk now? There's just no way someone would do that or even could.
Say whatever you'd like about it. This is all going to be impossible for me, having to stay with a woman like you. So can you spare me from having to waste the rest of my life with you?
Waste the rest of your life? You just ruined a large part of my life and you're going to say something like that? Do you really think you're the victim right now, Tyler? This is so screwed up that I don't want to talk to you anymore. I'm fine with a divorce now, but don't ever dare come around me after this ever again.
Why would I? There's no reason for me to. Now, you have a good one, and I hope you can get better soon. If you can start walking again, that would be perfect. Well, that won't ever happen though. They said that you'd never be able to walk again, right? So your best bet now is to become a pro at using that wheelchair. See ya.
This is all so bad that I'm not even going to read your messages anymore. I really messed up by marrying you. Goodbye forever and never come around me again.
I can't believe that I'd meet you somewhere like here. Don't tell me that this whole time you've been trying to stalk me.
I would never and never say something that disgusting about me. I have never wanted to meet with you after you divorced me 5 years ago, okay?
Then why are you here at this company's founding party? This is not the kind of place a woman of your likes should be at.
What do you mean by a woman of my likes? What kind of saying is that anyways?
I'm sure you have an idea of what I meant by that. This is not the place for you to come to. Well, it doesn't matter to me anyway because after leaving you, my life has become so much more amazing.
Huh? More amazing, huh?
I was able to land a job within this brand new company. And right now, I'm going to be going from a simple man to an elite because of it. And this is all because of me divorcing you and getting remarried to someone that allowed me to get to this point.
I love seeing that you're so happy to be here and are willing to talk down to me because of it. But this will be the only time you feel this happy.
Huh? Why are you acting like you know anything about me? Maybe you do because you've been trying to stalk me this whole time. I'll act as though this was all a coincidence as long as you get out of here right now.
Why do you think that this was all a coincidence?
Because there should be no other way that you knew I would be here, right? And I don't want to believe that you're stalking me now. So look around and see how nobody here wants you at this party. Now go! And just to reiterate, I'm so happy that I divorced you. And getting into that accident was like a gift from God, giving me the chance to escape you.
Huh? What are you saying after causing someone to become crippled?
Well, I know I screwed up your life a little. But because of that, I was able to find a wife that's far superior to you. And it's because of her that I've been employed within this company. I'm living my best life right now.
You have no right to be that happy. I was getting so close to forgetting about our past. But now that I've had to run into you again, I've had to see just how much worse of a person you've become. And all of those painful memories are coming back to me.
It was the right choice getting away from a cripple. I was able to marry a beautiful woman, and she introduced me to what will soon be a very powerful company. I'm so freaking happy.
Well, welcome to my husband's company.
Huh?
I didn't come to this party to try and stalk you. I'm here because this company's CEO is my husband.
What are you going on about? Your husband's the CEO?
That's right. Is that a problem for you? I'm happy to see that he's going to be the boss of you. And if you wanted me to prove that he's your CEO, his name is Jeffrey Marcus.
You have to be kidding me right now. Why would he ever be willing to marry a defective woman like you?
How about you ask around about him and I? I'm sure that you wouldn't know anything about him yet since you're still new here. But I think everyone else here knows about him and I. About how the CEO's wife is in a wheelchair due to being a paraplegic. And that's the reason that he's worked so hard to become a CEO. That's the whole reason that this company works in the medical field with things like prosthetics and wheelchairs.
Huh? Then, hold on. Are you for real?
The woman that you've been talking down to and treating like an idiot is really the woman that's married to your CEO right now.
If that's the case, then I've messed up. You keep all that's happened between us a secret, okay? I'm still a little suspicious about you really being his wife, but please don't talk about us. Don't say a frickin' word. Don't take the career I've just gotten away from me.
Well, everything you've just asked for all is a waste. I'm going to make sure that everything you've done is known.
What the hell? Are you serious? Why would you want to do that to me?
Because I'm a good wife, and I never hide anything from my husband. He already knows about what you've done to me in the past, so... But I'm sure he never noticed that you had been hired to his company yet. So I'm going to have to make that known to him. Oh, I can't wait to see what he'll do to you.
Hold on a second, Vicky. You don't have to do that to me. I had just wanted to see if you were really his wife. And I can see that you are. I think that's pretty insane for you.
The CEO of this company that really loves his wife is going to be pissed. I think he's not only going to have you fired from the company, but he'll make sure that other companies are aware of who you are. I don't think you'll ever have another chance of seeing me again. And that's perfect.
That's not perfect. What are you talking about? Don't say such needless things to the CEO, okay? I've finally been given the chance to work for a huge company like this.
Well, I just told him.
Huh?
He seems to have a little time to talk, so I spoke to him about this. And he blew up when I said things about this. Just as I expected he would.
You're lying, right? What?
He told me he's going to take everything that's made your life worth living and throw it in the trash for you. I can't wait to hear about what'll be happening with you next.
Wait, Vicky, can you please slow this down a little? I was just told that I might be fired and was just removed from the party.
If you're going to try and fix it all for this, it's far too late for you. I think this will go just like I said, where you'll be fired from your job soon. And then you'll probably never be able to work a decent job in this city ever again.
I have no idea what's going on. What are they all talking about?
He's telling everyone about who exactly you are and what you did to me. And don't even bother trying to work the night shift at any of the gas stations around either. My husband is going to make sure that no matter who you try to seek employment from here, they won't take you. Sucks to be you, right? You had only just found a wonderful job and all. But after this, you're going to find it very difficult to make any kind of money in this city.
But you're going too far by allowing all of this.
Could you think about what you've done to me?
What are you talking about, Vicky? What did I do?
You're that far gone then, huh? You had been driving drunk, and with me in the passenger seats got us into an accident that made me lose the ability to use both my legs.
I know about all of that, and I feel a little bad for that.
Well, when you think about who's been going too far with things, look at yourself. And think about your wife for a second.
What are you talking about now? She has nothing to do with this.
Your wife is the senior director's daughter, right? After him and my husband had a talk just a bit ago, the air between them just changed. Did you never tell any of them about what you've done?
Huh? He's the senior director.
I think he's going to have to take responsibility for what you've done and will also be fired if you don't do something. I'm sure you're going to be hated by your wife for this, but good luck.
They have nothing to do with this, though. He's just my father-in-law. He was never even around when everything went down 5 years ago. Asking for him to be fired as well is literally going way too far. Stop it!
Going way too far is all you can say now about what I'm doing. But the only person that took things too far was you after you found out I was paralyzed. And besides, I'm not going to listen to you asking me to stop. My husband is the one that's taking care of all of this, so telling me to stop isn't going to get you anywhere.
But he's your husband, so you can go and tell him to stop all of this. And it's all your fault that this is happening to me.
Really? My fault for all of this? Even though you're the one that's let all of this build up over time? Ha!
Please, can you just look past what I said today? We could both just act like this never happened and never have to see each other anymore. I had gone through so many hardships to get here, and after finding a wife to help me find this job, I've been living a wonderful life. If I'm going to get fired after this, then all of that would have been for nothing and I'll lose everything I've earned.
Why are you continuing to talk about how hard life's been for you until you got that job when you left me to fend for myself after paralyzing me? You literally called me such terrible things back then and told me that you wanted a divorce only because you wanted a wife that was normal? Do you really think that after doing all of that to me, I was going to let any of this go?
I'm sorry about what I said to you today. I had a few drinks and all, so maybe I was a little too forward with you about what I thought. I never meant to make you remember what happened back then, and I really just wanted to say hi to you.
Well, it's too late now. You're finally going to have to pay for taking my ability to walk freely away.
I didn't ruin your life or anything. That was all due to the accident we got in.
Even if it was an accident, you had been drinking a lot that night and still chose to drive after all my warnings. We had slammed into the light post going 50 miles per hour down that road, and all I remember was that you were outside the car passed out, and I was in the seat slumped over with no feeling past my waist. Such a terrible memory. And it's because of you causing that crash that I'm bound to this wheelchair. The worst thing is that the days after that crash were the worst because you called me horrible things and continued to tell me that you never wanted to care for me. And it wasn't even a week before you had already divorced me and vanished.
Hey, I was young back then and didn't know any better. I didn't know the right things to say back then, and that's why I seemed so cold. Now that I've grown up and know that I've done was wrong, please understand me.
You've grown up? Huh. After what you said to me today, I understand you completely. You haven't learned a single thing since the accident you caused, and you don't plan to.
Please, believe what I've said.
I told you that I'd never let any of that go. But I'm sure you even forgot about me saying that back then. Huh.
But there's no benefit to tearing me down like this, right? I told you that I messed up, so please, tell your husband, my CEO, all about all of this. Are you happy to see me suffering right now?
Tyler, you know very well that I'm loving every second of this. You try to take my happiness and life away, but hey, I'm actually very grateful for the life I have right now. But even now, I still remember everything that you did to me then, things you said to me then. So now, get ready to enjoy what will be living hell after this. Isn't it great that you ended up divorcing me? But I'm sure you'll find out that it's not great. Rather, it's horrible that you divorced me.
After that, Tyler was fired from his newly acquired position, and the senior director was also fired for his role he played in hiring him. And after finding out about this, Tyler's wife was furious to hear his past caused her dad to get fired and asked that he divorce her for that. And I don't blame her one bit since he never told either one of them about what he did to me. He really did end up causing troubles for more people than just me, and now he's really going to be buried deep for that. And once that had all happened, Tyler got to experience even more of what Vicky said would happen to him, and he wasn't able to find a single place that would hire him. And since he had nowhere to work in the city, he was forced to move away. Nobody around me has a clue where he moved away to, but I'm sure that wherever he is now, he should be working his butt off trying to start fresh. As for Vicky,
She is still being loved by her husband still, and the two of them are living in a romantic life together. Seems that getting that divorce back then was much better for Vicky than it was for Tyler.
Hey, Layla, what the heck is this? You think that just because you are busy with work, you can give us your responsibilities? There is no way I'm going to continue letting you get away with this just because my parents are allowing it. Hello, Shay. I haven't been trying to leave you guys with any of my responsibilities. What's wrong? How am I and your parents involved in anything that has to do with you right now? Don't lie to me. This is what makes you a lowlife. You think you can just act stupid, which I know you are, all in order to go out and work and have fun while I have to be at home with this kid because my dad told me so. What? Lowlife? Kid? I knew about how you had been raised in a foster home and all that, and know nothing about raising a child and having a functional family. But what the hell are you doing, pushing your own kid off onto some stranger while you run off to do other things? If you're going to keep doing things like that, then you shouldn't have any kids. I wish my brother would have known better than this before he made you his wife. I have no idea what you're going on about right now. How could I be pushing my daughter off onto you when... Stop trying to make excuses for it. I already knew that you'd end up a useless person, and perhaps you don't want to trouble your kid with being such a waste of everyone's time and effort. That's really what I hope your reasoning is for handing her over to my family and I. But to think you'd go this far to get your child away from you? Why can't you just be an actual human and mom and take care of the things you've made? You quit that right now. What do you think you're doing leaving me on red? Hurry up and come get your kid. I am tired of having to sit here all day waiting for you to come and get her. You seem to be getting really worked up over something right now. And so far, you haven't given me any good explanation of the situation besides that you have my kid right now and that I should be a better parent. So I was thinking to wait for you to calm down before we talk some more. Now tell me, what are you talking about right now? Don't play dumb. You think that by having your kid go over to your in-laws, there wouldn't be any issues? Both my mom and dad are old, and when it comes to my husband and I, we have things of our own going on. He has to work all the time, and I have to make sure all the chores and things like that are complete before he gets home. With the way things are right now, I can't deal with this kid. I have been forced so many times now to take on your child over here, even when I tell my dad that I don't want to. Are you seriously going to leave your kid over at this house for the whole summer now? This place is not some daycare, so you cut all that out right now. Come and get them, or else I'm going to take them back over to your house and leave them there. If you're talking about my child, she is sleeping right next to me. I don't even have any memory of the last time I took her to your parents' house, or even your house to have her stay for the day. What? Then, whose kid is this? I had been thinking for a little bit now that everything you were saying made no sense to me. That has to be someone else's child, right? Maybe there was some confusion in what your dad told you, and the kid is actually one of his friends' grandkids or something like that? That can't be. He would never do something like that for one of his friends when they have families of their own to get help from. You're just trying to make up even more lies in order to keep your kid over at my place. What? Wait, hold on. My kid is really here at home with me. I can send you a picture of them with me right now to prove it. This is screwed up. I was told that this kid is yours, and that's why we're having to take care of them. You idiots really have nothing better to say besides excuses. I want you to get your kid out of my face here soon, or else I will start to act out. Eric, do you have a moment to chat?
Hello, Layla. What's going on with you?
I just heard from Shay a little bit ago that she is having to take care of my kid. But I'm not too sure how that could be, considering my kid is back here at my house right now sleeping. After hearing about all of that, I wanted to check with you about what's all going on. She told me you forced her to take care of the kid, so perhaps there was some kind of misunderstanding here?
About that, huh? I'm sorry. Your mother-in-law's legs aren't the best, so I asked that she take care of the kid for a little while.
But, Eric, that kid isn't even mine. I'm totally fine with you having your daughter take care of the kid for you, but don't tell her that that's my daughter she has right now.
What?
Like I said, my daughter is with me right now sleeping, so there's no way that girl Shay has right now is mine. So what's going on here?
That's right. I'm sorry. I'm getting old, so perhaps my memory isn't all that great. We must have made the mistake of which grandchild that is.
You mistook which grandchild that is? Back during my daughter's field day, you came out to see her, and you shouldn't have any other grandchildren besides my daughter. Also, aren't you still doing well enough to not be making mistakes like that? How were you able to mix up whose grandchild you had that badly? Wait, you only have one grandchild right now, Eric.
What? No, that's,
Are you hiding something from me right now? I'm at a loss, and I need answers to all this before I become any more confused. If you're not going to give me the truth right now, Eric, then I'm going to your wife about all this. Her legs might not work the best anymore, but at least she can tell the difference between kids and knows that she only has one grandchild.
Alright. Don't say anything about this to my wife, please. Okay? The truth isn't going to be pretty.
Again, with this frickin' kid! I can't deal with this any longer. I've come back to your house and I am going to toss them in your yard right now. Then they can sit out there all day long and play in the hot sun until you come out of that house and actually do something with your child. What? Out in this hot summer sun? It's almost 100 degrees out today and you're just going to leave them out there? Of course. They're not my child after all, so why should I have to care about their health any? Just know that whatever ends up happening to them is all your fault, since you're being such a terrible mother. I have told you so many times now that that's not my kid. Whoever you're doing all of that to has nothing to do with me, and you need to realize that before something really bad happens. Shut up! I have all the proof I need that this is your kid. So there's not one thing you could say to me that would get me to believe otherwise. Could you just calm down for me, please? I understand that you're really upset right now, but don't start harming that child over this. They really don't have anything to do with what's happened. Don't tell me what to do. I'm not going to take any of that crap from someone who never had any parents of their own and had to be raised in a foster home. Just because you never liked being in a foster home doesn't mean you can push your kid off onto me to handle. You are so messed up. I get that you have no idea how to raise a child because you never grew up in a family that actually cared for you, but you cannot force your child into a situation like this, you defective human. What the hell is going on with you, Layla? Making fun of me because I was a foster child? You think there's something wrong with me when you're the one tearing someone down because of a past they couldn't control. I get that you don't like me for the person I am, but all of those hurtful comments are ridiculous. You're the lowlife if you can't even learn to listen to what others are telling you and have to make them feel bad instead. So just listen to me. I know that there has been some kind of misunderstanding here. I know that because I know what's happening, but I don't want to hurt you or anyone else by telling you. What are you going to tell me that I don't already know, you loser? Even after all I've gone and said to you, you're still going to push that kid off onto me? I've been telling you over and over again now that they are not mine. A lowlife in your position has no right to talk to me like that. I know that this kid is yours. You can lie all you want about that, but I know the truth. And if you want me to prove that to you, this kid is wearing some really cheap clothing, and they have no manners at all. They just run around all day long screaming and breaking things in my house. They are the worst child I've ever laid my eyes on. You really have no idea at all how to raise a child, do you, you foster child? My girl is a very wonderful girl, and at a private kindergarten she's going to right now, she is praised by both her teacher and a lot of the other moms there. They tell me she's like an adult in a 5-year-old's body sometimes, okay? So don't you ever say that my daughter would be a troublemaker like the girl you're with. Huh? Did you just say private? That's what I said. My baby girl goes to a private kindergarten right now. I told you all about that a while back, right? Ah, so this is why you continue to think that kid is mine. You've been judging who their parents are based on the clothes they wear and their manners. Of course I have been. A lowlife like you would never be able to afford anything more than the cheapest options. It's insane that you'd think I'd fall for a lie about your child going to a private school. I mean, having been a foster child, making money these days must be so difficult for you, right? Right now, my husband and I own and run a cafe together. It has been very popular on social media, and every day the place is packed, making it a very difficult yet rewarding job for us. What? Lion Lion is the name of our cafe. We have a lot of followers online, so go and have a look at the place yourself. There really is a place called Lion Lion. Is that you in the picture of the cafe? That's because I run the place, so of course I'll be in some of the photos. Of course my daughter isn't in any of those photos, though. So because your cafe is always so busy, you're having me take care of your kid, right? During this part of the summer, it is exceptionally busy here, and so we make sure to have more staff on hand since one of us has to be home with our girl. So don't think that we would just be pawning her off right now while we both only focused on our business. Sometimes only having one of us here can be tough, but we'd rather have it that way in order to keep our daughter from being lonely. There have to be times when one of you can't be home for her, right? That's true. And at times like that, we have to end up asking your parents to take her for a day or two. But we make sure to plan that all out in advance, and she is only there during the day until one of us is back home. And while she is over there, she would never cause the kind of chaos that child you have right now causes. She's been raised well enough now that she'll apologize if she were to be responsible for breaking something. There is no way you could raise a child like that as a lowlife. I may come from a foster home, but there are plenty of very famous people who have had the same upbringing as me. The fact that you are judging all of us based off that one fact is terrible. And I hate to have to bring this up, but I am making way more money than you are right now. Then, who the hell's kid is this? This brat seems just like you, causing all sorts of trouble for others without a care in the world for their mental health. There is no way this kid is anyone's besides yours. Well, about that. That happens to be your dad's secret lover's grandkid who he's been trying to hide. My dad's secret lover's grandkid? In the past, your dad cheated on your mom. At that time, they both then ended up making a baby together, and after that, he'd been doing his best to pay for them, through child support and things like that. But after a few decades, that kid then ended up having a baby herself and expected your dad to take care of it for her. So he listened and started to help take care of his grandkids, but in order to not let any of you guys learn the truth, he said the kid was mine, and then had you care for them. Which means that right now, you are taking care of his secret daughter's child. What? Huh? What the? This kid is his secret lover's child's child? Sort of like a hidden grandchild. Although that's a bit strange to say. I cannot believe this! There's no way something like that has happened! I've just been telling you the truth. You should have a word with your dad about this now. I've already spoken with him myself, and this is all what he told me. Your dad was asked to help with his other grandchild, and for a bit he took them on with your mother. But in order to not let her find out the truth, he started asking you to take care of them for him. That's how things have ended up like this. Your dad ended up forgetting all about the fact that my daughter goes to a private school and forgot about her face as well, causing him to think that child was mine over time. Honestly, the fact that he mixed her up with whatever child you have now is a little bit disheartening for me. That's what happened? Shay, I can totally understand how you feel right now, having had a kid pushed off onto you for a while now. It really is tough having to raise a child. And when it comes to someone like you who has never had to raise a child before, this is your first time going through all of that. But even still, some of the things you've been doing and saying are not okay. Everything you've done to me up until now will not be forgiven. I don't need you forgiving me for any of this. I'm the victim after all. So quit it with all that crap about how I'm in the wrong here. You! What the hell are you trying to do by telling my husband all those things? This isn't about what I've said to him, but about all those things that you've been doing to that child who isn't even yours. I had to go and talk with him about how things have been going down there at your house. Just the other day, you left that kid in my yard all day under the scorching sun as though that was perfectly okay. I had to talk with him about that, all right? I was starting to worry about that child's safety. I was just doing all those things to them because I thought they were your child. So you're telling me that if it were mine, it would be okay to do whatever you wanted to them? Shut your mouth! And another reason I left them in your yard that day is because you were home. And there happened to be some shade in your yard, so it wouldn't have gotten that hot out for them. Are you not embarrassed to be making such a huge deal out of this? And one last thing, why didn't you tell me earlier that that wasn't your child? You never said anything to me like that, so you're just as much to blame as I am. God, I told you from the start that my daughter was already at home with me. I never heard that! How about this then? Why were you talking with my dad about things like his secret grandchild and crap? You have nothing to do with this family, so you don't get to tell me I'm wrong or right for what I've done to that kid. I wouldn't have to be involved in any of this if you had just listened to me and left me alone, Shay. But I do not want that child to have to suffer anymore for something those that need to take care of them are doing. Have you forgotten that I was involved in all sorts of suffering due to my parents? I understand what it's like to be hurt by those that should be looking out for me. Just like you've done to that kid. And it's not just the kid that's been hurt now, but their parents as well. Huh? Why would they be hurt? Had those parents actually taken care of their child in the first place, then none of this would have ever happened. After talking to that family about what happened to their kid, they were so upset by it and they went and apologized to them. She was just hoping for her dad to take care of her child for a bit, but he went and left her child with you, and then you put the child through some very serious circumstances. I get that you hated the idea of having that child pushed onto you, and that you were upset from all of that. But that does not make for a good enough reason to ever cause harm like that to a kid who isn't even yours. What you did was not okay. You need to learn from what you've done and make some changes to yourself. Stop messing around. Why the hell did you get my husband involved now? Because you would never listen to me. I was able to talk with him about everything that's been going on with you. Because of that, he's now working on fixing everything you've done. If you actually had any common sense in you, then you would have never gone and done the things you did to that child or me. He told me that we might have to get a divorce now because of this. I'm the victim in all of this. It's my dad who should be the one facing punishment for all this. I was just lied to.
Layla, what the heck did you think you were doing? What you've done is going to tear this family apart. Are you not embarrassed by what you've done to us?
So you're going to start with the same thing your daughter's been going on about? Honestly, I don't even blame Shay for everything because the cause of all that's happened is your cheating. You were the one that went out years and years ago with another woman and made a baby with her.
And I wanted to keep all of that a secret. Now that you've taken what I've told you and made a big deal out of it, a lot of people in this family are being hurt. Doing something like that shows that you have no conscience. And makes me worry about the kind of person you really are. You are far too old now to be saying things as dangerous as you have to my daughter and her husband. Why couldn't you have kept that a secret with me?
I haven't done a single thing wrong here. And I like to think all that's happening within your family right now is what you asked for.
No! All of this pain my family is being put through right now is your fault. It's because of you making such a huge deal out of everything that my daughter found out I cheated long ago. My wife and I had been doing so well all these years. But after what you've done, even my wife is upset with me now and hurt. Are you even aware of that?
Come on, the reason your wife is upset and hurt right now is because of you. The only one that's been living in peace this whole time has been you because you've gone and lied to everyone.
Excuse me?
Your daughter already told me that you and your wife have not been doing too well recently. The fact that you're not aware of that only adds to all the pain you've caused them. Also, even had I not told anyone about what you'd done, your wife was already starting to catch on.
What?
When I went and told her about what you said to me about your story, she replied by saying she already figured all of that out. I was shocked when I had to realize that she was already ahead of the curve here.
There's no way! If she'd known already, then she would have wanted a divorce or something, right? She never said anything to me. Never said anything at all.
It's not that she didn't, but that she couldn't. Even if she wanted to say something to you about it, you both had 2 kids already, and she didn't have all the evidence yet. All she could do was cry herself to sleep every night, thinking that you had yourself another woman. But, Eric, because of what's happened here, she's been able to learn about the kid you had with that other woman, and that you've been taking on that kid's kid for her. It would be rare for her not to take action against you now after all she's had to learn.
No! She has been with me this whole time because she loved me. You had just gotten to her and made her unhappy with me.
Your daughter was acting just the way you are right now, so I can see where she got that kind of childish behavior from. But the thing is, no matter what either of you try to say and think, you're not going to be changing the reality of the situation here. Your wife was able to have a look at all the child support you've paid and tried to hide from her. And right now, she's even talking with that woman you cheated with, and her daughter. Your wife has now been talking with a lawyer she had around with her for the longest time. And since she now has a good amount of proof that you've cheated on her and have been sending money to that woman for so long now, she can take you to court and get a settlement from you.
She has been at home this whole time, though. She never had any chances to find someone to help with the evidence and talk with a lawyer.
That's true. However, Shay went ahead and gave all that evidence to your wife just the other day.
What?
She did that because she is livid right now. I'm not going to forgive her for any of the things she's done, but she did fall victim to having to take care of that child for you in secret. Or should I say, she was scammed into doing that in a way.
No way. There's no way. I never raised that girl to sell her father out like that.
You never bothered to raise any of your kids in the first place, Eric. You would leave all of that on the shoulders of your wife, and then you would go out and play with that woman the whole time after you finished work. And then, after making a kid with that other woman, you went and kept them a secret from your wife this whole time. Honestly, I want to congratulate you for somewhat making it this far.
Shut the hell up! Shut the hell up, you family-destroying witch!
The family-destroying witch would be you, Eric. I have no clue how you mentally found it okay to hide all of that from your wife and kids, but it must be so much worse to be both your other woman's daughter and her grandchild because they had to grow up without you around them. No father or grandfather around. You went and lied to both parties about yourself, all so that you could continue to be happy and not pay for your sins. You've really gone and done it now by not only ruining one family, but 2 due to your selfishness.
You have no idea what a real family is, so you have no right to talk. Listen to the man who has actually had 2 families that have both loved and supported him.
There is nothing about what you're saying that I should be listening and respecting right now. And you want to know something really heartbreaking about all of this? Your wife has been waiting for years now, hoping that someday you'd open up to her about the truth and ask for her forgiveness. But instead of telling her the truth about having another woman, you went and had a kid with that woman and kept it a secret. She is going through a lot of pain now after feeling almost 3 decades worth of suffering and no longer wants anything to do with you. From now on, you deserve to live life on your own, please.
What? Why are my kids saying they want to cut ties to me now? This all shouldn't change the fact I'm still their father, right?
They want you out of their lives because you are their father. You went and did something completely unthinkable to them, and they are both in shock now. That's how horrible of a person you've been to them.
If they both cut ties to me, I'll be screwed. I won't even be able to see my grandchild anymore, right?
Huh?
You and my son went and had that girl of yours a while back, and it's been so nice having a grandchild around. I don't want to lose them!
I would never let my daughter meet a heartless man such as yourself anymore. The man who has gone and literally hurt everyone in his family, in both his families, needs to go burn in hell now. I'm on your mom's side in this. So that's it between you and I. Goodbye forever, you monster. Shay, the out-of-court settlement has been handled now, right? I heard about that from your mom. What do you want with me now? It's not like I'm happy about anything. I just wanted the money I deserved for having to take care of that woman's, well, I guess my sister-in-law's child. Have you not learned anything at all, though, after what all has happened? Learned anything? About what? About how I went and blamed you for that kid, thinking it was yours that whole time? Well, I was the victim there too then, so I shouldn't have to learn anything. And the reason I'm not happy is because even though my dad is out of the picture now, I'm going to have to take care of my mom now. Because he's gone, she's become my problem. You really are useless and a waste. Why did I have to end up in a position like this because of you? Having to take care of her has left me with no time to myself, and all of this after being forced to take care of a kid that wasn't even a part of this family. I get that you're the victim of some very terrible things due to your dad. But you didn't learn anything from causing harm to a young child like that, thinking they were mine. Just because you were a victim does not give you a free pass to do whatever you'd like. But you're going to be fine now, right? You should be used to taking care of another person by now. Huh? There's no way I know how to take care of my mom. Her legs are totally messed up and her back is hurting her all the time. And due to my dad, her lawyer is coming over to the house quite a lot. That's right. You come over and give me a hand. You're my younger sister-in-law after all. You're not twisted enough to throw away your mom-in-law now, right? No, thank you. Why should I have to go there and help you out? What? Well, you said it yourself, didn't you? Something about how it's messed up for one to force another person to have to take care of their responsibilities, like their child or their mother, perhaps? So I'm going to say the same thing right back to you. Do not have me take care of your own mother for you. That would be messed up. What? You witch! Your mom is already telling me that she doesn't need me to come over there and help you both out. She said she wants to keep relying on you until you've learned both your lesson and become a bit better of a person inside. So because of that, I'm not going to give you a helping hand. I happen to have a kid myself, so I need to be here for her. Then what the hell should I be doing here? I have no one else to ask for help now. Hey, reply to me. Eric ended up having to pay a massive amount in an out-of-court settlement to his wife, and then was completely cut off by everyone in his family. He was then left with their house as his wife moved out and would no longer have anyone around to keep him company anymore. Now he's going to have to work on paying off all the debt he's been left in for the rest of his life, most likely. I've heard about how he's been trying a few times now to get with the other woman he's been cheating with when he was younger, but she herself has a husband now and she won't tell Eric anything about him. He also tried going to the daughter of that woman, hoping that she would start hanging out with him more. Or even allowing him to go and live with her husband and their baby, but they didn't want anything to do with Eric either. She was actually so upset with what he had done to her daughter by handing her off to Shay to care for and abuse to some extent, that she ended up cutting ties to him as well. I'm not sure Eric will ever be able to find himself anyone to keep him company again, and should give up on the idea of family in general, since he obviously never had a good enough idea of what one was. When it comes to Shay, her husband ended up creating some borders, telling her that she'd be left in charge of her mother as a way of punishing her for what she'd done to both myself and that little girl. She didn't take this very well at first, cussing him out and even trying to guilt him into helping since this was his mother-in-law. However, just like with me, he said no to all that, and then hit her with the ultimatum that if she didn't care for her mom or tried forcing him to, then he'd divorce her and leave town. With that in mind, she shut up and got on living the life with her mother, having to make food for her mom all the time and clean up after her. With there rarely ever being any time for herself now, and that massive pride she once had being smashed away, she's left on her own having to care for her mother for the rest of her mother's life. Of course, if she ever comes to me and actually apologizes for all the trouble she caused, then I'd be happy to start helping her with her mom. But I'm not so sure that day will ever come. And to be very honest, I hope it doesn't.